So some other things you should look out for. This is the airbag here. You see it has not been deployed, so you should be very careful. I also recommend that you should disconnect the battery terminals before you want to do this. Hello guys, this is Dr. Cool Auto Fix. Good afternoon. Are you having a problem with your car, maybe your Lexus GS300, making some rattling noise underneath the dashboard and you don't know exactly what the problem is? If that is the problem that you have, then you want to stick around today because I'm going to be showing you some tricks which you're going to be using to fix that noise without replacing the motor. Okay, on eBay I've actually seen this model and it costs between $30 and above. Now there are a lot of damper model in this very car. If you don't know what damper model is, another name for the damper model is door blend actuators. Some other car manufacturers call theirs door blend actuators. So in this very car here and some other cars, the work of that door blend actuator is to be able to control how the air flows from different part of the car cabin. Suppose you want the air to be blowing just on your feet. That is what gives the command. That's what the ECU gives command when you press the button for the air to blow down. So the processes are not quite easy because you're going to be needing to loose up the dashboard, and when you loose up the dashboard, which you can see right here, as you lose this one here, then that's the first step of your journey into getting this problem solved, because without replacing this, that spot is too tight that you can't replace it or even get to inspect it to know exactly what the problem is, to know if it is actually the gears that are made up of plastic that's broken off, maybe like Mercedes, or maybe it's not the gear that is broken off, maybe just the motor that's bad on its own. But when we talk about this one here, in the Lexus or Toyota, the code you're gonna be getting if suppose you plug a scan to is B1442 or B1443. It's still the same code, and it's air outlet damper control servo motor circuit. Now B1442 is air inlet damper control servo motor. So it's both for air in control as much as air out control, the air inlet control damper as much as air outlet control damper. So there are a lot of them that are like that, and in this very case, after getting this kind of a code, I saw it on my scan too, and it's saying that it's current. You wouldn't be able to know exactly which one is which, and so we've taken some of these things apart. You can see the center console is out, a lot of things is out of the way because there is no way you can be able to drive the dashboard without removing those center consoles. So we've actually removed that. By the way, why trying to fix this problem? We have some other problem that we want to address that is located underneath the dashboard, so we're trying to fix all the same problem simultaneously, such as you're having a wet floor, we are noticing some kind of poor cooling in the system performance with the refrigerant and everything in place the way it should, and still the performance was dropping. So it's gonna be, we have actually figured it out and we know exactly the parts that is bad that we need to examine properly, such as the evaporator, to get it replaced. So we decide to take on them simultaneously, especially when the too much water is right there. Now if suppose you are to be losing the the evaporator, you're gonna be needing to pull this subframe that you're seeing right here off. But if you're not gonna be losing the evaporator, you just, as soon as you remove the dashboard, you just stick right here. You see that red, there is a red look closely. Okay, there is a red control margin here where my hand is touching. So this red control margin, within that region right there, there's a lot of damper motor right there. There's one that's attached to the uh, evaporator compartment, and there's two of them right there, and there are other two, one which I'm touching right now that's attached to the blower motor compartment. So, and all these servos, the damper control, air inlet damper control, are actually the damper motor that the computer is talking about. So in this situation, narrowing down exactly which of them that is making the mess is the kill shot, and not just the kill shot, is the fixed shot. So we are trying to examine them and see what is out of in place, while trying to see if there's screw that is out. Suppose the rubbers are broken, maybe the gears are out of place, or maybe it's out of the rail. And while we're looking at it, we're trying not to piece out, to let it all broken out before we can be able to narrow it down to which of them, because as it is right now, even as you're looking at it, you still got a long way to go pulling this subframe down, right, before we can be able to get these two housings down, get the blower motor down, as much as the evaporator housing down. Although you can still pull out the blower motor down here, but without that frame out or lifted up, you can't actually take it, because it's being secured by 10 millimeter bolt that is holding it in place. Okay, now this is where you have to concentrate and get this thing done right. In our own some sort of a physical examination and assessment, we do have a feeling that before we get to actually pinpoint where the problem actually is, we want to actually bring down the evaporator and bring down the evaporator compartment, and bring down the blower motor compartment, and take a very critical look at it. In this kind of situation, I don't know the one that's actually troubling you, but I'm trying to give you the clue to actually be able to know what to do. So if suppose you couldn't find anything different between the board, it means, I mean, within those servos that are around there, those damper motor servos that are around there, then you probably want to drop the whole thing down, just like we dropped it right now. So as you remove this subframe, then there you go, you have your expansion valve right there. Suppose you need to replace your expansion valve, and right in this compartment where we're holding and wiggling right now, that is where the evaporator is. Alright, so you're gonna, and underneath there, on this very compartment right here, there is I think like 4 damper motor. Now this very damper motor that you're seeing right now, that is about to remove, that's the damper motor that is the target on this very one here. And what happened here on this very damper motor, this very one right here that is at the blower motor, is the place where it gets out of the rail. If you look at it very carefully, it did get out of the rail. And when it gets out of the rail, the computer is trying hard to take it out, but it's coming down. That is what's creating that rattling noise, because it keeps coming back and forth. So that's the one that is having fault right there. And I think this issue most oftentimes occur when many people who are not technicians, who are not specialists, are trying to replace the pulling filter on this Lexus, most Lexus model, you're gonna be having this problem. So because you have to lift that lift gate, there is a lift gate right there, the recirculation closer, this thing that's at the on top of that lower model compartment. So if you don't lift it very fine the way you're supposed to, and you attempt to change it, that is where you gotta get things messy. This very one right here, it has a closure right there, up there, where you replace the it. So if you don't know how to replace the cooling filter, so if you don't know how to replace it, that is where you start to create that problem. So in our case, we just refitted it into the back to the rail, and that solved the problem. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope to see you some other time.